Hey there folks, and welcome back to the one and only Airgun Reporter. I'm here today to show you folks at home a classic CO2 pistol, the Crosman 2240. This design has been around for a long time, and this pistol is known for its accuracy. It's also inexpensive. Very simple design. It's a bolt action, single shot, 22 caliber. Go ahead and decock it there. And it's also very, very accurate. You're going to be surprised by the accuracy of this pistol, even with open sights. Not only is it very accurate, it's also one of the most highly customizable CO2 pistols out there. As a matter of fact, I've got some eye candy for you. Check out this custom Crosman 2240. Just about every part on here has been made by a master machinist out of high-grade stainless steel. It's all custom except for the grip frame and the trigger. We've got custom breech with a 11mm dovetail cut into it so we can put a pistol scope on it. The body tube, custom barrel, Cocobolo grips. This is a really nice set of grips. And even the safety is stainless steel. And it also has this very cool Buck Rogers looking power adjuster on the back. This represents the very high end of customization for the 2240, but you can mix and match and buy parts, and it shouldn't be that expensive. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is some chrony testing. So let me get a brand new CO2 cartridge in here, and we'll set up the chrony, do some testing. When I ordered the Crosman 2240 from Pyramid Air, I also asked for the 10 for 10 test. For $10, they took the pistol out of the package and ran it through some tests. They made sure it didn't leak, they put CO2 in it, they tested the trigger, and they also shot 10 Crosman domed pellets over the chrony. Very cool. And they also gave me the chrony printout. This is good stuff. Usually when I get CO2 pistols or CO2 rifles, I want to make sure it doesn't leak. I hate when it gets here and it leaks and I have to send it back. So for a measly $10, you can get your very own 10 for 10 certificate. Even has the serial number on it, and it's signed by the person who tested it out for you. Thanks, Stacy. All right, first thing we need to do is get some CO2 in the pistol. That's just a matter of taking the cap off, drop in your CO2 cartridge, put your cap back on. Unfortunately, it's a little bit difficult to pierce the cartridge with just finger tightening. So I'm gonna have this big honkin' flathead screwdriver. Give it a nice tight twist. There we go. Also, I've noticed with this pistol, the first shot is usually a dud. So I'm just gonna point it in a safe direction, fire it off. You hear that? No CO2. But the next one, a little bit different. Okay, I think I'm ready to do the chrony testing now. The pellet I'm going to be using is a 13.73 grain H&N Sport wad cutter pellet, 22 caliber. I've got my chrony set up, and it's about 4 or 5 feet away from my muzzle here. This way the blast from the CO2 does not affect the sensors on the chrony. All right, let's get started. Okay, we are ready to go. We have the air lodge warmed up to about 75 degrees. CO2 likes warm weather. So, let's take our first shot. Okay, it looks like we've got some really nice numbers here. We have a low velocity of 433 feet per second, a high of 443, an average of 439, an extreme spread of only 9.58 feet per second, and a standard deviation of 3. This pistol is shooting very consistently. Now, based on the average, we're talking about 5.8 foot-pounds of energy, just in case you're curious. Now it's time to move on to the fun part, which is the accuracy testing. We're going to be using the same H&N Sport wad cutter pellet. The rear sight on the Crosman 2240 has some degree of adjustment, so you can move that blade up and down depending on the distance you're shooting at. The blade also has two different types of sights. It has a notch on one end and an aperture on the other. I flipped it around because I like to use the aperture. The rear sight is also adjustable for windage by loosening this slotted screw and moving the sight left or right and then tightening it down. All right, I've got my target set out to 10 meters. I'm not going to push it that far out today. And like I said, I'm using the same H&N wad cutter pellets, 22 caliber. Let's see how I do. Okay, let me go get that target and we'll see how we did. Well, even though I was rested at the bench, I'm still going to need some practice with the 2240, but these aren't terribly bad. This gun is very accurate. These are both 7/8 of an inch center to center. That's not too bad for iron sights. Well, there you have it. Now it's time to find out how many shots we get per 12 gram CO2 cartridge. Well, it took us a lot of shots to drain a single 12 gram CO2 cartridge. We got 80 shots before the pistol became unusable. That's a great shot count for an inexpensive 12 gram cartridge. It's time to do the trigger testing. The triggers on the 2240s and similar pistols are notoriously stiff, but it says it's about a 3.5 pound trigger pull, maybe closer to 4. But we're going to use our handy Lyman trigger gauge and test for ourselves. Get this ready. Don't even have to put pellets in to test this. Rest it on there. There we go. Okay. And we'll get our average. Let me put that on safe. There we go. Looks like we have 3 pounds, 4.3 ounces. That's lighter than I thought. The trigger is still stiff, and that's kind of the weak point of the Crosman 2240 series of guns, but 3.4 ounces is not bad at all. Okay, let's find out how loud this CO2 air pistol is in the air lodge. All right, for the sound testing, we are going to load pellets into the 2240. Otherwise, it sounds a little bit different when you dry fire it, and we might not get an accurate reading. Now, our sound pressure meter is going to hold the loudest sound it hears, so we'll do 5 shots, and as soon as that meter is pinned, we'll find out what the reading is. Take our first shot here. Okay, well, I'm told the highest reading on that meter was 104 decibels, and that puts the Crosman 2240 in the medium to high loudness category. It's got a good snap to it, especially indoors. It has a nice loud crack, but I kind of like that. You could wear hearing protection with this if you have sensitive ears or if you're really concerned about hearing loss, but it's not that loud at all. I can say some very, very good things about the Crosman 2240 today. This is a great, inexpensive gun. It's accurate. It gets a lot of shots per CO2 cartridge. The only thing I really don't like about it is the plastic grips, but again, that keeps the price down. And you can always go out and get yourself a set of custom grips for about $65, $75. Also, it's kind of difficult to scope this pistol. There may be some mounts that will fit this pistol. I'm not aware of any. Maybe I should look a little bit harder, but that's just about it. This is great for shooting silhouettes, it's great for target practice, and it's great for just plinking cans in the backyard. The Crosman 2240, a CO2 classic. For Airgun Reporter, my name is Paul Capello. Until next time, shoot safe and have fun.
Please remember, folks, air guns are not toys. Even the smallest calibers can cause serious injury if not used properly. And you should never, under any circumstance, point an air gun at a person. Parents, if you teach your children to shoot responsibly, they will have a lifetime of air gun enjoyment.